Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Melos Machina. My goodness, we've missed you. It's been 2 weeks at this point. No, wait, two episodes passed since this point. 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Oh, my goodness gracious. We hope that you have had a fantastic last couple of weeks and that you are ready for tonight's episode, as per usual at this point.
I'm not.
You're not? Well, we hope you've had a great night. Have a good one, everyone.
I can be a giant snail.
Pull the record. Well, buckle up, everyone.
No.
Because we're just going to dive right in to tonight's episode of Melos Machina. When last we met our heroes, they had ventured through the town of Riversmeet to collect supplies and procure travel across the river so that they could head back to the cave where they had originally fought the strange creatures that Dr. Sada had sent them to find. With the help of Duathi's new coins finally being created, you had discerned that this would indeed bring good fortune or good rewards, as this to be your path. Having talked to Marius and procured a small boat to travel across, and then being reminded that a cart was being purchased, returning to Marius to get a larger vessel.
Yep.
You then, after an evening of skulking about the docks and the millworks, headed back across the Conderflow. Now, having made dock after the short travel in the same barge with the steam engine in the stern, you find yourselves on the side of the river of the Overseer's estate, unloading your cart, your provisions, and ready for the journey ahead. Marius, giving a wave and wishing you good luck, closed the gate of the ship and returned to the western side of the river, where you then embarked and made your way down the road into the wilderness once again. As you venture into this direction, remembering the encounter with the wolves speaking to you, the encounter of the spiders that had awaited for you unknowingly the first time, is there anything along this journey that you would like to do? You have roughly a full day's travel ahead, which, by your calculations and by your knowledge, should get you there just around sunset.
Okay.
Get us to the cave at around sunset?
At least to the cart
outside,
wreckage
right,
from
okay.
the first time. Now, from there, it was a couple hours' journey to the cave.
Right.
Now, this would be taking your retracing your direct path that you did the first time. It would be possible to diverge from that path and try and come up with a more direct route to the path, or to the cave.
Nah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I mean, nothing I want to do on the journey. I just know that once we set up camp, I have to start trying to make this the box.
Right. I mean, as we make our way to the camp, I just want to keep scanning the tree line, the horizon for any bugaboos or anything that might pose a risk to what Chauncey's. We've like harnessed Chauncey
Yeah.
to the.
I believe so,
Yeah.
yes.
Cool.
At this point, you have your two-wheeled cart, which all of you can fit on. There'd be two on the front, the driver's seat, essentially, and then the small back areas would easily fit 4. So you have basically a journey not on foot, which is a relaxed comparison to the last time.
I mean, I definitely sit near the front, trying to guide the Chauncey engine, I guess.
One way to look at it. Finn, probably, I would spend most of the trip in the back of the cart, taking the advantage of the extra time to further study Sada's journal and the specifically the code or whatever shorthand she used, and comparing any descriptive markings on the blueprint to the scroll itself, trying to read the notation behind the magic that I recognize.
Now, I believe from the original reading of the blueprint and then your secondary interpretations of it, you've pretty much discovered what there is.
What they are, yes, but the way that she decodes the...
Oh, I see. Specifically using them
Yeah,
to...
there was a
Because
short
the way
note that
I
we
notate the song is very different, and so I'm trying to take what I know and then literally translate or transliterate
Gotcha.
the notation.
Okay, absolutely. All right, is there anything else that anyone would like to be doing during this time?
I do have a question that at some point I would probably ask after walking next to the cart for a while and watching Chelsea. I know I would ask Andy a question. That's
Sure.
Andy.
Yeah.
I'm still just a little bit confused on the point of Chauncey.
Okay.
Is he alive?
Well, that's a complicated question. I don't think... He's not necessarily alive in the sense that we are,
That makes sense that it would be different.
but I would say that obviously he has the capability to function on his own. So there's... I'm trying to think if there is another way to word this. I guess what do you... Is there a specific kind of question that you're getting at?
No, that's sort of it.
Okay.
It is all very new to me, this idea of a machine and one that walks and
Yeah.
seems to learn and be able to follow us and create solutions on his own to problems. Like, he seems to know that we are going to hook him up to the cart when he sees a cart. That sort of thing. And
Yeah.
also because I am told that Chauncey was made from parts of Chauncey, and also that creatures like him maybe ended part of the world or something. So which would imply either that these things got out of control or that these things were alive and did something bad. But also, I just think he's kind of cute, and I want to know if he is thinking about anything.
I mean, he definitely has thoughts. I mean, the fact that he remembered being harnessed to the cart. I'm figuring all of this out kind of at the same time you are.
Wow, that must be very interesting for you.
Because it took me a long time to build Chauncey, but he didn't have the life force in him yet, if that makes sense.
Tell your Meister gave you the thing that made him go brrr.
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm kind of learning about his brain at the same time you are.
Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you, Andy.
Of course.
I'd like to say that I understand it any better, but alternatively, at the very least, I know what the questions are, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I have a question that may be relevant, in fact, and I flipped through the journal to a separate page that's all on Chauncey, all my observations. Well, there are properties that Chauncey can demonstrate that things that are considered to be living do not. When you scratch a tree, does it bend down and enjoy it? Well, seemingly? Or when you plant that seed, was there life in the seed before, or only after it started to grow? Unfortunately, it's just questions, but together, maybe the answers will spring to life too.
yeah.
I would like to then walk to the side and see if I can find some small, still sort of springy twigs.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough as you hop off the cart and follow alongside. There's plenty of underbrush and sort of nature everywhere at this point. Are you looking for something living, something that's...
If it is, fallen from a tree or a sapling fairly recently, so it's still sort of wet.
Okay. You give me... Let's get some rolls out of here.
Ah!
I wanted to
Duathy,
this one.
give me a perception check. Also, I can have perception check from you. And then Finn, give me a investigation check as you are delving into the journal and the blueprints.
Right.
It is only an 11.
An 11.
17 perception check. My passive is 20. So I'm not sure if one overrides the other.
As you are keeping an eye out, essentially acting as sentry on this journey, looking across the river, you don't see any sort of animals or any beasts of any sorts. Certainly nothing staring at you from the other side of the woods. On this side of the river, this far into the journey, you're still able to see just the hints of River's Meet behind you and the woods off to the north, or the east. And you see a flock of birds flying overhead. Seem to be small, quick, and agile. Flutter around as one darts through. Seems more of a predator. Duathy, looking around for some of this plant life, you notice that by the riverside there is a collection of growth, sort of bushes and brambles by the edge of the river. It's a little bit of a walk a ways from the cart, but you imagine that would probably be the best place to find any selection of immediately having fallen twigs or long scents.
Okay. I just need like these maybe.
Sure. If you walk, it'll be a small trek, about like 50 or 60 feet away from the cart, but you
That's
can,
fine.
yeah, you're able to amass a small collection easily.
Alright. I would like to then take. Oh,
Really quick.
yeah.
22.
22. Excellent. Would you do me a favor and mark down a deciphering of the journal?
All right. Excellent.
And let's start a running tab of that.
You got it. Wonder what the high score is.
After a while, the whole world just starts to glitch out.
Boy.
Duathy.
I would like to take these twigs and sort of weave them together and to make a little circle about this big.
Sure.
And then I would like to use Druidcraft to make any sort of leaves or flowers that are attached to these branches grow back again.
Okay.
And then I would like to put it on Chancy's.
Creating and weaving out a small crown of twigs. And as you do, it's a simple enough of a weaving, but as you're doing it, it's as if your druid craft is helping it to grow and maneuver, that by the end of it, it's almost grown into itself and become one perfect circle with small fresh leaves growing off of it. It seems you've collected a couple of different species. There are some larger, leafier leaves and a couple of small, more pine-like, and a couple of flowers blossoming from them as well. But it is large enough you're able to place it on Chauncey's head. As you do, there's a moment where Chauncey just kind of looks up. Doesn't really look back, but you get the impression that where one of his eyes are, he can kind of see you out of the periphery. And his head just kind of lowers slightly as a new weight is placed onto it.
Yeah.
Eventually his neck reconnects, and without breaking stride this entire time.
I just thought you might like to look pretty, Chauncey. I don't know if you think about it, but now you look very cute. You looked cute before, but now you look so cute.
I have tears in my eyes. And I'm not sure how to process the emotions, but thank you so much, Dorothy.
You look so
That
darling.
is absolutely adorable. Oh, do you want to give me the bones and I'll...
Oh, that's right. We can do that when we sit. Oh, no.
I have to do it. I can do it
while we're
while I'm
walking?
sitting in
Sure.
the cart.
Absolutely.
So I'll take and use the jeweler's tools that I made to kind of clean up the bones.
Perfect. Go ahead and give me a quick crafting check on that. It'll be your dexterity, or your proficiency plus your choice of either, I'd say, dexterity or wisdom.
Same.
Cool.
That is a 22.
Very nice. So this will take you a chunk of the journey. As you continue, tree line getting closer and closer. And you know that within the next few hours up ahead there is a curve, at which point there was the remains of a cart, which you now ride. Over the course of this time, you are able to very well clean up and polish each and every one of the coins that Duathi has made. It is now a perfect and pristine set.
Oh, my
Here you
goodness.
go.
Thank you, Andy.
Of course.
Oh, my goodness. They're so gorgeous. Thank you. That'll be very useful.
Question.
Mhm.
Do I just have jeweler's tools now, or do they only last for the day?
You have them as long as you would like them,
Okay.
but then
When I have to make new tools, they go
exactly
away.
they change
Okay.
over. You have like one pack of tools
Got
that
it.
you are able to change to be what you need.
Cool. Sounds good. Well,
Thank you.
I'm glad you like them.
I love them, and they'll be very useful. They'll help us do so many things whenever we get lost or confused or not sure which way to go. We can sort of use these to sort of help.
How precise can you read them?
Well, so it has to be something that we are sort of about to do. So, for example, we were getting ready to decide, should we go? And so I asked, should we go and should we make this decision now? And it said yes. If I was to ask it what I should eat next Thursday, it would give me nothing. If I ask it too often, I can really only get a truly accurate read once a day. After that, it starts to get to be sort of muddy.
Is that due to... Are they delicate? Is it something that needs careful handling, or is it a matter of interpretation?
It is a matter of... So, when I am using these, it is, I mean, I imagine you sort of know something about this, Aaron, that, asking for information from things is big. And trying to figure out what is going to come next is big. I don't know how you do it, but for me, I am asking. And that sort of magic, I am getting the impression at least that bridge sort of gets tenuous the harder you try and push on it.
I see.
And what comes through can get jumbled.
It has a self-regulating quality then.
Sort of,
Don't
yeah.
want to abuse that knowledge too much. It's interesting, fascinating.
No, I think so too.
Are you asking the bones themselves or something else?
Something else.
Oh, I see. So they're an instrument of observation.
Exactly.
Interesting. I've only been able to ask my own experience and observation to find information about the world, and sometimes I find it's true, but I've never seen bones do that.
I've only had very limited experience seeing anybody do anything like this. So I'm very excited that it worked. But it is nice to know.
And it was the craft you put, or the care? How did...
That and knowing how to ask magically. I mean, the item helps, but it is that I spent the time to make sure that they were done properly and that they can connect to, bigger things.
Right.
But yes, it's partially the crafting of them. Realistically, they could have looked or been realistically of anything, but this seemed to make the most sense to me to be able to work on them and kind of combine what I knew we would be able to do with what we had.
Well, when I dictate magic or put it into the writing form, it looks very different than the way Aaron's family did it, so I think we each have our own way of tapping in.
The way the two of you do it, all of you do it, seems to be very different than anything I've ever seen before either, so...
The power is universally accessible, it seems, if you have the right tools and knowledge.
And respect.
What do you think about? Is that an emotion? When you were asking, did you picture something?
I pictured the cave and walking to it and sort of what we're doing right now and the things we found inside and what we needed and sort of called out.
As, I was always taught that, well, there's a whole order of the powers that be, different names for different properties, and it's interesting that you just seem to have one big idea, as if the Melos couldn't be broken out into component parts.
I guess maybe that is because what you call the Melos, at least I think, again, I'm still kind of grasping.
Me too.
Take your best shot.
I was not taught about it in, I think, the same way that you were, perhaps.
And I've been taught quite a bit, and you're showing me things I never knew.
This idea of, I mean, the order of things, I suppose, is a thing that seems, to me at the very least, to be universal, but it's not a thing that I was ever raised with this idea of needing to classify everything that we did. I was picked up to be trained the way that I was because I kind of have a good connection with the what's a good word for it in this language? The forces of life and existence, I suppose, is kind of the best words that I have for it. And we don't really... My teachers did not qualify it with so many words. It was more about doing and feeling than it was about knowing the names of everything.
But you felt comfortable wielding it.
Oh,
I
sure.
think that is the underlying key to all of this is that we've all found our comfort in harnessing and utilizing the magic that is around us. And whether we call it a name or utilize its emotions, it's a tool that we all wield in different ways, and I think that is wonderful.
It's definitely very interesting to me. All the different words you have for these things.
Some people can't help but categorize things and put them in boxes.
And yet still know so very little about them, it seems.
Yeah. Speaking of, we don't really know what we're walking into tomorrow in the cave.
Well,
Do we have any goals, plans of what we want to figure out?
Get the body.
Yes.
I can't imagine anything has developed since then, though. Be on alert for anything whatsoever. It's been some time. Who knows who's taken up refuge in that cave as well. But my inkling was to follow Duarte's intuition and that something beneficial will come from returning there. Might simply be retrieving the body for our benefit. However, it's a simple task to start with. Unless something new presents itself, I think it is rather simple.
And I think we should delve further, past the pit.
Oh, you think?
That's been nagging at my mind as well. It seems they were digging somewhere.
Somewhere, or perhaps whatever these creatures are, if
Mhm.
there's a nest or
Mhm.
a place that they come from, a source. Because the conversation about Chauncey got me thinking, what differentiates these from Chauncey besides the viscera?
Mm-hmm.
They can think, they seemed to have instinct like Chauncey does, but they're made of metal and flesh. So, I feel like any answers that we can find on how they live, how they act,
Mm-hmm.
could be beneficial.
Absolutely, yes. I didn't even think about that. Icon. Wonderful.
Well, something that I remember is Dr. Sada, before everything happened, said that they might have a life cycle.
Yes.
Mhm.
So that's a major difference between them and Chauncey.
Because Chauncey does not make more Chaunceys the way that every living things make more of themselves.
No,
Chauncey is made from parts of Chauncey.
correct.
Okay, so
Well, to be fair, we haven't put another Chauncey with it to see
Well,
what happens.
I
So
think, but
it's a safe assumption for a hypothesis.
yeah, I
maybe they would be friends.
But I'm also of the inkling that Chauncey might be a perpetual being.
right
Can function for as long as
as
you
life
deem
force,
as yes.
yeah.
However, these creatures might not. My theory is that Dr. Sada was experimenting and set these things out in the wild, or they escaped her. That is a loose thread,
That's the hard part to know.
precisely. But yes, I think pursuing deeper into that cave and excavating if needed would be, well, intriguing.
I prepared some magic that can sort of look for diseases and poisons, considering that these things tend to wield that.
Yeah,
Maybe
I can.
you can find it a little better.
And if you don't want to take that, I can do that too. But
I also prepared a new spell. I think it'll work. Something to help locate a specific object at a distance.
Oh.
So once we get there, we can see if there's any more hiding anywhere.
That's very handy. Every
Wonderful.
time I had forgotten my bag, I could have just used this spell.
Well, I'll never forget the feeling of seeing Sada slip away, and that was the last little bit of inspiration I needed to finish a song I'd been working on.
yeah. Let's also remember there are spiders everywhere.
Yes.
So tonight, let's each sleep with our eyes open.
But
Not
definitely-
literally.
Well, we can take watches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I mean, I might be up for a little bit longer to try to at least start making this box. So I'm happy to take first watch as I'm doing that.
I was very relaxed until you said that, so thank you. But Andy, would
Serves
you
you right,
like
Finn.
company and or help?
Sure.
I'm not as handy, but
Yeah, absolutely.
all right. Well, yeah, settle in as we settle in to camp. Like help Andy pull the object.
So
Once we get
at this
Oh,
point,
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
um,
Before we get to camp, I got it.
you've your conversation has definitely brought you into the early parts of the evening. You've come to the bend where you remember the cart originally laying, and you see where it was that you had camped the first time. You also see the path that you took that headed towards the cave.
Is the cart still there?
You're
We're
right.
on the
We're on
cart.
the cart.
Right, we have.
Oh, this is the same
Yeah.
cart we took.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah,
technically,
'cause
yes.
it's-
Not yet, almost.
Yeah, because it got repaired with the bits and bobs.
My mind is just on spiders, so it's
Now that we're back in that area and we've gone this path before, I would like to see if there's a better place to make camp. Something a little more protected than right out in the open where we kind of were last time.
Sure.
I can help if you would like.
Yeah.
So, with where you are, kind of in the clearing, from do you want to like get out and look around?
Yeah,
or-
like park the cart.
yeah.
Will Chauncey respond to me or just you?
I mean, I can tell him to respond to you. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Chauncey, let's just stop here, and then I'll get off and
Yeah, and as you tell Chauncey this, and kind of head back up again, and there's a moment of hesitation.
yeah.
Give me an animal handling check.
Oh.
Yeah. Love these.
Well, that's a 12.
Okay. Chauncey stepping forward, kind of turns his head back to look at you, and turns his head back to look at you.
I'll nod and say, you can listen to any of the people in this group.
That Chauncey stops, and the cart comes to a gentle stop.
I'll give him a nice pat and then start looking around for a better, more protected place for us to make camp.
Go ahead and give me a survival check.
I said I would help. Is
All right.
that all okay?
Absolutely. Your choice if you'd like to do your own or if you'd like to give Ike an advantage.
I will do my own.
Okay.
It's probably a good thing.
You see that?
What did you get?
It was a 15.
Oh yeah, mine was a 5.
That's amazing.
I rolled an 8. So strange.
Looking around, you immediately come to the original sort of shrubbed encased area that you had set up camp the first night. And for you, clearly this is the spot. And after
Can't
a
mess with shrubs.
much longer sort of about, Dwatha, you come to Ike and you actually make the same conclusion. As far as places of protection, this seems to be the best. You're at the beginnings of the forest.
Okay.
It is lightly wooded. It is still fairly open.
At least we can bring the cart around closer this time.
Yep, I think so. Yeah, there's nothing I think I can do at this time that would make this any safer.
Mm-mm.
Now, I'm going to ask what may seem like a loaded question, but it has been 3 weeks since our last session, and I want to make sure all things are remembered. So we can make camp here, and spend about another probably day to get back to this place and head back towards. A reminder: if your goal was to catch the lock jumper, this was day 1 of 3 that it is going to be in Rivers Meet.
You know, that is a very... Thank you for reminding me because I forgot.
Yes.
Okay, so,
And it's evening now,
Mm-hmm.
so I need 2 hours to get to the cave. Ish. We can
Perhaps
push
this
it.
is an unpleasant thing, but I don't think that the cave is any more dangerous than where we are.
We can push on.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't mind a few hours extra today if it means shelter while we sleep.
I
Okay.
really want to catch that boat.
Yeah.
That too.
And we want to
All right.
return to day after next.
It's not the boat I'm worried about, it's having enough time to pick up what we left behind.
Well, and I have to make. Anyway, let's go and we can figure it out
Yeah.
after.
Back on the Chauncey cart.
Okay.
We really need to turn it into the mobile forge.
I know. We'll work on it.
One thing at a time.
All right, and I'll Chauncey, and I'll kind of. I don't know if there's reins, but steer him.
There are
That
actually
direction.
the way that there are reins, but as you pull,
Gently.
there's no.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
on his drill, which doesn't really work.
You see, as you pull, the drill kind of, and as you pull the other way, but you actually do feel it resistance as it eventually then locks in place in one direction and locks into place the other direction.
Okay.
The reins seem to now have been there more of a aesthetic of this is what it should look like, but Chauncey is very much under whatever direction you give
Yeah.
him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. We're gonna go to the cave, so let's follow the path we went before.
Tirelessly, Chauncey obliges and marches on. Begin to come into, again, the fringes of the wood. It's not a deep forest or anything along the sorts, but it is more heavily wooded. And though there is a silence to the night, it is nothing compared to the eerie silence that you faced downriver.
Well,
I think as we progress and as we get deeper into the thicket wood, I'll just walk up and pop light on Chauncey's head.
All right. What's the radius on light?
I can tell you, I believe it's rather small. 20-foot radius for bright light, an additional 20 feet of dim light beyond that.
So as you walk up to Chauncey and cast light, are you casting it like on his drill? Okay.
like right
as-
on his forehead.
as from the wreathed crown beneath begins to emanate light.
Stunning.
Duathi and Aiken, both of you, the moment that light is cast, hear a sudden but soft scurrying of leaves bristling, and as you quickly jerk your head over, you swear for a moment you did see one long, small in comparison, but still larger than normal, spindly leg.
Spiders.
Elfin
Spiders.
wire,
So eyes up.
you know?
I
Hold on.
think.
Right.
The light is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep. Let's just keep going.
Yeah. That's probably enough journaling for now, as I just look around like very shakily now.
I would like to screw it. I'm going to as we are driving, can I take, because it's about 2 hours, can I take the 11 minutes it takes to cast Speak with Animals?
Absolutely.
I will ritually cast Speak with Animals.
Speak with animals. What exactly does it let you talk to?
Animals.
Beasts.
Beasts.
Okay.
Beasts. For what that is worth, I have a feeling weird. I have a feeling we're dealing with monsters. But for what that's
Who's
worth,
to say?
I don't know anything.
He's in charge.
But what I would like to do is very confidently say, to any spiders that can hear me and are listening, please do not attack us, because then we will be forced to attack you back, and you will not eat us. We will not eat you either, because that would not be particularly delicious. But alternatively, the only reason you would have to attack us is to eat us. Or maybe because you're jerk faces. I don't know. But alternatively, please do not be attacking us, because I would rather not have to swing my stick at you, but I will.
What does jerk face sound like in spider?
Do you roll? Your choice. Persuasion or intimidation?
I feel like this is.
It sounded more persuasion to me.
Yeah,
but...
I'm gonna say persuasion.
I think you did say please.
I did.
And there's only one mention of hitting with sticks.
Only
Right.
one mention of hitting
Yeah.
with sticks. More of it was polite.
And it was an if-then situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, 17.
17.
I
Okay.
know, this time I rolled really good.
Your passive perception's a 17 as well, yeah?
It is.
Okay. As you say that, you hear soft chittering. Well, most of you just hear a...
Oh my god.
Is that the sound Dwathi makes to speak to
No,
him?
Dwathi as speaking is speaking in common. But
Alright.
Dwathi,
Thankfully.
you hear... The meat speaks.
No.
And you hear a response. Jerk face.
Yeah.
Danger.
Am I in danger or are you in danger? I don't know that you're a jerk face random spider. I assume you're a spider.
We'll say it was two distinct voices that you heard. As if talking not to you, but to each other.
Oh, so I think there's two spiders and I think I confused them. So
No, I don't think I'm gonna ritually cast this. I don't want to know what they're saying.
I'm very confused. I think they don't know what the jerk face is. To clarify, jerk face is what I think you're. Hopefully you're not. But I am indeed more than meat. My name is Duwati, and I don't know your name because you are spiders. I don't know if you even have them, but I would prefer not to be called meat.
Duality,
But
more than meat.
But I would prefer if you did not eat us, because then we would have to fight. It would be bad. Oh, sad face. That would be me.
Again. To which you hear. It would be bad. And then a gentle and silence.
Well, I have no idea how that conversation went. This is my first time speaking to spiders.
You did great.
Dwarfy, the spider diplomat.
Yes.
Yep, that's why I was training. You bet.
Oh boy.
Well, fingers crossed.
Maybe, who knows?
Right.
Either that or maybe they're more likely to attack us now. I don't know.
Maybe they're going to get more spiders. Oh
pick up the
God!
pace. Let's
I
pick up
shouldn't
our
have. I
pace.
shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said.
How long does light last?
An hour, so I'll recast it once I see it.
Within the first hour, there is no approach, no further sounds, no further clickings, and no discussion of
Jerk faces.
jerk faces nor meat talking. And as that hour fades, so does the light. It begins to dim.
Aaron.
And as you re-up, there is no immediate skittering, no other sounds.
Great.
And
We're
at
almost
this, into the second hour, the trees are beginning to thin, and you come to the more plains area where you recall led towards the upper hillside that the cave entrance was in. Now, though dark, though many of you still able to see, you seem to be alone. There are no other sounds. Nothing in sight. And eventually, up ahead, you see the cave entrance.
You know, I'm realizing that instead of talking to spiders, I probably should have been talking to all of you about whether or not we actually want to go into this cave right now.
Well, I was gonna say, do we want to camp in the cave or just outside the cave?
I think we should go in. There seems...
Yeah.
I see no reason to wait out here for morning.
I mean, there was the atrium where we fought
Mhm.
the last creature. We could all fit.
Yes,
I-
quite comfortably.
I
I
quite
mean-
agree.
Either way, we're gonna have people take watch, so
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be that the things inside the cave are dead and the things outside the cave less dead.
And there were only 2 entrances. Well, an entrance and one other place, if I remember correctly. We scoured that where we fought the thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was where we came in, and then the tunnel that we started to follow, and then found.
That led into the
Surprise.
hole with the bodies.
Yes.
And was that pit with the bodies a dead end? Did it look like it continued on if we
That
had...
you recall, because you had been in there.
It was Aaron and I
Yeah,
that
too.
walked
Went
in
into
first.
it. As both of you recalled, it was a small pit.
Mhm.
There was not much else.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we proceed within. At least don't and try not to leave as little trace outside as possible.
Yeah.
I can protect the entrance for a brief time
Oh.
to at least alert us if anybody enters behind
That's
us.
right, it's the thing you do that makes the sound.
Mhm.
And we could try to block part of the entrance with the cart and at least like
Mm-hmm.
slow any entry.
Should anyone come upon us, we are making a new home. So
Um,
some sort of
Yes, yes. It's,
encounter.
quite spacious,
Yeah.
and well, the draft is nice in the summertime.
Quite cool.
Hmm.
We'll cross that bridge if we get there. But yes, I think inside is
Yeah.
better.
All
Out
right.
of sight.
Yeah.
I'll lead the way.
As you approach the cave and entering into it, what is our marching order?
I'll be 1st. Spear out, shield.
I'll sort of take the rear then.
I will also be in the rear so that I can ritually cast alarm around the cave, around the mouth of the cave.
All right.
That's perfect with me in the middle, so that the light can cover the most of the party, and hopefully I can see forward.
Okay.
I was gonna take the. Okay, so I'll just unhook Chauncey and just kind of put the. Chauncey will go in, and I'll kind of go in and drag the cart to block the entrance as much as I can.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
An alarm will be 10 minutes to.
Yes.
Okay. So essentially, setting up a bundle inside as you enter in and you begin to funnel in. As you begin to ritually cast alarm, and as Andy, you work on readjusting the cart. I can up in the front. You're able to see. You've got dark vision, yes. As you look down the tunnel, you remember the jaggedness of the sides to it.
Mm-hmm.
But as you look at it, it looks a little more overgrown. And as your eyes adjust, you actually see that there are bits of webbing that have been built up on the sides.
No.
Okay. I still think this is a good idea.
Can I get a really quick, full-on perception check?
Uh-huh. 14.
14. As you say, I think this is a good idea. You look around and you can see where parts of closer to the floor, the webbing has started to break away, and it seems to have been disturbed. And right at about the time that everyone has come in, you see a large shape in the center of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
It looks just like a large gray, black, and brown mound.
Mm-hmm.
And as your eyes take a moment, it is very clear that you recall the giant spiders that you had seen for just a moment before Finn had immediately erupted them in flames. It looks just like one of these, but it's upside down, and its legs have curled in on itself.
Okay.
Okay. Dead spider ahead. Webs on the walls. Does anybody have a torch handy to maybe burn away some of these webs?
If you give me a couple of moments, I don't have any way to. I mean, I have a flint.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to set this whole place ablaze, I guess, but
I have a torch.
just be careful.
I have a torch. I can break out.
I also don't mind. I can keep. Well, I'm the one who needs it for actual seeing. That way you don't have to worry about yours.
I'd like to get closer to the dead spider,
Sure.
but I want to poke it with my stick.
Absolutely.
Just kind of just make sure that it's dead.
All right. And as you go to do this, just to double check, are you two still doing your alarm and blocking off?
I imagine this was while I was casting. I can simultaneously was getting a line on the tunnel.
Walking up to this, you give it a poke with your staff or your spear, and as you do, there's kind of a hollow just jiggling to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like punching a large tumbleweed.
Okay. Is it blocking our... How big is this
It is a
compared
large
to
creature.
the portal into or through this tunnel?
It is taking up a good, the width and most of the height.
Okay.
Looking into this, you can have it be your choice of an investigation or a nature check.
We're gonna do nature.
Okay.
Slightly better. Ooh, okay, 6.
6. Yeah, whatever this is, it is unmoving. It is curled over. Doesn't seem to be an issue.
While they're doing all of that stuff, I'm gonna start separating its limbs from its body to kind of push it aside.
As you do, you go to push it, and they break just and begin to not fully crumble into a powder, but they're crunchy and crusty and are falling apart. You're able to push a lot of it to the side.
Great.
While is doing that, I would like to go and look at this creature and see if I see any of the signs of... You know what? Let's do it this way. I will, while Aiken is doing that, I would also like to take 10 minutes and ritually cast Detect Disease and Poison and see if it is diseased with the undeadness that seems to permeate the things that have been killed by these creatures.
Sure. So by this point, as you are breaking this apart, you're able to push it to the side easily, using the cart to block off the entrance and setting an alarm as well. The entrance is fairly well blocked off. You could easily, as your sizes, kind of maneuver around it, but anything that would take up the whole tunnel was going to have a hard time.
Cool. Good.
Cool. And this is Detect Disease and Poison?
Poison.
All right, let me check this spell really quick.
Yeah. I think it might detect that
Right.
it can also detect poisonous creatures.
Oh.
Hey. Helpful, actually.
Or you could just try speaking spider again. I'm sure.
I mean, they talk back. It seems useful.
As you finish your ritual and connect to the earth and its inhabitants, there's nothing that pings off of this creature. As you walk closer up to it, no poison, no disease.
That's good. Okay. Great. Well, I don't think it is sick, at least. I don't think this creature is going to, get back up and go...
Oh, that kind of sick.
Well, it certainly won't now. It has no legs.
To know.
Oh, I don't think it would go...
All right, well, when Aaron's done, let's proceed into the space and make camp.
Right.
Okay.
And just like so, should anything come our way, a quite loud ringing bell will alert the entire chamber, so keep your ears perked for that.
All right.
Great. Proceed.
Okay. Moving down this tunnel, once again, trotting known paths. The webbing persists, but you can see it had very clearly been disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you make your way into the opening that creates the large cave that you had initially encountered the creature. Looking in, you hear the same soft dripping of water. You've got the torch, and
That's,
You can also re-up light at any point.
I mean, certainly useful to have multiple.
as the light casts into this room, it is nearly exactly as you remember it, save a few more cobwebs that had been created. It looks a little more as if nature has started to try and reclaim it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Aiken and Dwathi. Actually, I think everyone with your passive. You do hear a soft. Like a chewing sound, just a. It's not loud and crunching. It seems to be more like a cat lapping up water ever so gently.
That is exactly what I'm going to picture instead of a spider.
Is there a directionality that it's coming from?
The echoing of the cave, it's
Mhm.
and with where you are, yeah, it's difficult to pinpoint.
I know doing retroactive checks is difficult.
It's all good. What are you thinking?
So you mentioned that nature is kind of reclaiming this cave.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking back on the first time that we were in here, does it seem like the cave was being upkept by some sort of like humanoid, some that would have reason to upkeep the space?
It didn't strike you as anything out of the ordinary. It felt as though the difference was that the cave before had something that was actively in it.
Okay.
Whereas now, at least from this initial glance, there are clear spider webbings and seems to have been less activity in
Okay.
it, is the difference.
Yeah. We hear something that kind of sounds like a cat lapping up water, just so you know.
Anybody get the feeling that we decided to sleep in someone else's chambers tonight?
Possibly.
Strange bedfellows, I suppose.
I suppose we were going
That's,
to have to probably fight it at some point, whether it was going to be, tomorrow or right now.
Maybe it's an actual cat.
Yeah,
That would be so lovely.
Sure.
let's go with that. Certainly not metal dogs or spiders, preferably.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can find a drier area of this cave to set up our bedrolls and fire.
We could push it in towards the end of it and at least have one direction to
It was,
keep watch on.
yeah, I mean, it was kind of cramped once we got into the.
It was.
Yeah.
Could always try and draw this creature out towards us.
I think we might do that anyway just by being
Being here. Fair
Or you
enough.
could call them jerk faces again.
I mean, I didn't say it. I said that if it attacked us, it would be a jerk face. It did not, so hey.
True.
I'm of the opinion of meeting it face to face, to be honest. Whatever is making this lapping sound is certainly aware of us now. No sense being strangers.
Right.
The sound stops.
I go in a little bit further.
As you step into the cave, now able to see the full interior, give me a perception.
That wasn't that one for a 6.
6. Looking around the cave, you see the same stonework, the breakage in the far back that led up to the tunnel. The tunnel itself seems to have a lot more cobwebbing on it. This appearing undisturbed.
Okay.
And as you look around, you see what at first looks like a pair of rocks or boulders in the far left corner. But they move slightly, and you can see they're discolored from the rest of the rocks, though all of the rock in here is a deep, dark gray black. These seem to have a soft orangish or reddish tint to them.
Cool.
And there's a brief moment where you're having a hard time pinpointing what their shape is. But eventually you're able to see that instead of stone, they seem to have almost large scales, almost like an overgrown roly-poly. And the two of them just stand perfectly still with one long tail coming out of the back of each of them.
Hey, little guys. We're just gonna make camp. I'm not speaking with animals. I'm just saying it out loud. I'm gonna make room for the others to file in, but kind of like, there's something over there.
The spider variety? Or?
No, they look like overgrown roly-polies.
Oh, why do I have a feeling that is outside the range of things I can talk to?
I'm just gonna put light on the end of my sword and just hold it right up.
All right, as you go into the cave, and how many of you are in the cave now?
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Approached but kept behind Aiken.
Okay. As the light emanates, it catches a chunk of the cave, not all of it, but most of it. And the dim light hitting these creatures, they scatter back slightly, and you can see they have insect-like movement. And now you can see two long sort of feelers at the front of their heads, and they kind of back away and scurry around and attempt to hide behind something. You can see that they were both now looked like they were eating,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you see the glistening shine of metal.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh no, they should not be eating that thing.
Yeah.
Oh no, I would you know what? We're just gonna regularly detect poison and disease.
Does it look like they're eating the metal or the... if it is what we think it is, does it look like they're eating the metal itself or the flesh?
At this distance, impossible to tell.
I'm just going to cast detect poison and disease. I'm just gonna cast it. Use that.
The
spell
range on that
slot.
is 30 feet.
Yup. Are they within 30 feet of me
I
actually?
think they're barely out of range on this.
I'll come towards Aiken, and if I come and stand at level with Aiken, will
Mhm.
it be within range?
If you get close, if you get within 30 feet of
I'll go
it,
with you.
Okay.
Um,
We'll go nice and slow.
Yeah.
are you trying to see it, if it's on these creatures or on the thing they were eating? Both. Okay. As
Yes.
you approach and you get close to the body, you don't detect any disease or poison. Stepping closer and closer to try and get them closer. They don't really seem to pay much attention to either of you. And with the initial casting of light, they're now kind of scurry back over towards the body slowly. And as they get closer to you, doesn't appear to be anything on them either.
Oh. Good. I did not want undead roly-poly stone monsters.
Did you ever check, using whatever senses those are, the bodies of the creatures?
I did.
You did.
Well, I did it on the body that was stabbed, and it had like a.
Right. Right.
Exactly, so I was
Oh
sort
no,
of
I
thinking.
did the undead.
Oh yeah, you
thing.
did detect undead thing.
What is your thought process, Finn? What
Well,
are you
My
curious
divine
about?
sense.
I mean, you're aware back in the cities, pests, insects, and mosquitoes. Well, that's how diseases can be spread, or one of the ways.
I see.
And so it was a question of were they a carrier, or
doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, I'll use divine sense to see if I get any more pings of that undead glow that was around the wounds
Oh, yeah.
of the thing, and that's a range of 60 feet.
Fantastic. Nothing pings off of them.
I think we're good.
And as you've stepped up with Duathi, you see one of them kind of, like, as it was heading towards the body, it turns and its antenna just looking towards you, and it slowly begins to approach. Doesn't seem to be moving aggressively.
Yeah.
But just kind of.
I'm just gonna let it. I'm gonna put my hand out, kind of like how you would greet a dog.
Mhm.
Like I'm gonna crouch down and put it out and just kind of go. Like see if it seems friendly. This might be
As you place your hand out, it scurries away.
okay. That's fair. But they're not aggressive, so currently.
it's kind
Okay.
of cool. Certainly better than spiders.
Yeah, and I'd hate to kill them if they're not gonna bother us.
Sure.
So
I certainly don't want to. I do just want to go get the dead body though.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I'll-
let's.
I'll hold the light out in front of me, and I'll kind of just walk over to the
You and
to
I
the
can
corpse that they were feasting
pull
on.
it.
Sure.
Might
and
be
then
able to
I-
shoo them away and at least
we get
retrieve
the
what we
body
came
to
for.
make it
As
not
you head over
gross.
towards the body,
Mhm.
the one that scurried away from Icon, its antennas flip over towards you,
Mhm.
and it doesn't move towards you.
Mhm.
And as you move, it kind of backs away a little bit. Heading over towards the body, the other one that is there seems to be gnawing down.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just chewing away.
I kind of try and shoo it a little bit with the light away from the body.
And is the light on your?
On the tip of my rapier.
As you begin to shoo it away, initially it pushes away, but as it does, one of its antennas, and it reaches out.
Mm-hmm.
Its antenna comes over and brushes up against the tip of your rapier.
Mhm.
As it does, instantaneously the rapier begins to rust and just.
Oh no! Oh
That's-
crap! Okay.
What I was worried about.
Oh no.
That is an interesting effect.
It rusted up and did what?
It rusted away.
Uh-huh.
It's still usable,
Uh-huh.
but there is going to be a negative 1 to all damage rolls with it right now.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So maybe we, give these creatures a little bit of a break
With
here.
that, its antenna having tasted that, it turns and begins to slowly creep towards you.
Oh
it-
crap.
Eating the
Uh,
metal.
I am going to then cast Speak with Animals.
Mhm.
Chewing through my spell slots here. Hey there, little roly-poly bugs. Do us a favor. We're just trying to pass on through here and not bother you. Maybe you could try to not eat the things that are on us. That would be
It
great.
continues to just move towards Aaron with. It doesn't seem to understand you at all.
Okay, great. Aaron, do me a favor.
Yeah, huh?
Drop that. Just trust me.
I've got your back. Ready with this firebolt if anything goes awry.
Yeah, I will drop my rapier at the ground
Alright, and then I am going to cast heat metal on it.
Okay. As the rapier drops to the ground, this creature begins to leer towards it as if a new meal has just been presented to it. When you casting heat metal, it begins to glow red, and as it bites down on it, there's a screech from it.
I'm sorry, little guy.
How much damage does a creature take from heat metal?
Initially?
I don't want to. Eh,
Should have warned them to blow on it first.
Totino's pizza roll.
12 points of damage, and it scurries away from it quickly.
Okay. Oh, I feel so bad. I'm going to take. Oh, what do I have in my pocket? I will take a handful of silver pieces, like 3.
As you are reaching in to find some coinage, there's an additional, deeper screech. It
Oh.
seems to emanate from the tunnel.
Oh.
I feel so bad.
I do want to take a moment while it's distracted,
Mhm.
and the body that it was chewing on, I want to pull towards the group, kind of like away from them, so we can salvage whatever's left.
Sure. As you rush up towards the what is there, you can see that it is the remains of one of those creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Most of its flesh seems to have been eaten away.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the metal is now rusted and corroded.
Mm-hmm.
These two creatures seem to have only been eating the metal,
Uh-huh.
but there is enough left to potentially salvage.
Okay.
But you then hear a coming from the tunnel as one large spider leg
No. what
and
the
that second
hell?
deeper screech.
This is up, right?
Up at the tunnel.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If I could please have everyone roll initiative.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay.
Ooh, fight. Okay.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to get him. I just thought that the heat would maybe make them go.
No,
"Oh."
totally, no.
It was bound to happen, my
Yeah.
friend. We're just travelers.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Severely regretting our choice of accommodations.
Blame me.
I'm not.
You can blame
Nah,
me.
we all made this decision.
Spiders to the left of me. Spiders to the right. Here I am.
All
Stuck
right.
with the
So
spiders.
whereabouts
with you.
were folks?
Well, I was right
No,
by the
you were
dude,
at the
creature.
Yeah.
I was also.
Wherever the corroded corpse was.
You had backed up a bit.
Uh-huh.
I think Chauncey, Finn, and I are still kind of near the entrance.
I would have at least gotten close enough to observe the creatures, but not any closer.
Probably would have been around there to see.
Okay, so we don't have a name for these creatures yet.
Not yet, no.
Roly polies.
Not those ones.
Oh, spiders.
The metal dogs.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Spiders.
Right.
I just can't think of the word.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It happens to the best of us.
Sneaky beastie. I
Even
don't
the
know.
ones that categorize and put things in boxes.
The iron dog.
And one of the large creatures has scurried away over here.
Sweet.
That is so much worse.
Yeah,
The second
sure
one.
are.
I feel so bad.
I was picturing way cuter little guys.
No, these things are like, they're a lot.
That is awesome.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted it to go away.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's so much
good.
bigger.
I am gonna yell to Andy, watch Chauncey.
Before you do,
Nah.
um,
Time stop.
25 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 20 to 15.
17.
All right.
Oh no.
15 to 10.
12. Oh, for the love of God.
Sorry.
Yeah.
characteristics.
10 to 5?
8.
6.
And a 4, just to save you some time. Glad we
Right back
stayed-
at it, y'all. Same cave.
Cool.
Same cave.
Glad we stayed in the back.
That is it familiar?
And it was a 6 and a 4?
Okay.
Oy, oy,
Okay,
oy.
Cool. It's alright. I got some tricks up my sleeve.
My trick is on your sword.
No. That's a great quote.
Please don't die.
Okay. So with that, Aiken, you are up first.
Cool. All right. So first, I am going to use my bonus action to cast Divine Favor on, me. And then I would like to. The little creatures are still not aggressive towards us, correct?
As best as you can tell.
Do I see? I am going to get. There's that little kind of stump between the two creatures.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to get on top of that,
Okay.
and I would like to hold my attack of my spear for when the spider comes within range of me.
Okay.
And that is my turn.
All right. Remind me what Divine Favor does?
It gives me an extra D4 of radiant damage on any of my attacks.
Okay.
So like a green light is surrounding my spear, which is not metal. BT dubs.
That is then going to bring us to Duathi.
Oh, well, at least they rolled low, too. Okay. Well, you know, I suppose we only lived once.
Why did you say it like that, Duathi?
Don't know, just feeling like maybe we do something kind of bold here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me double check the action economy here. I was sort of hoping one of those would go first. Is this one? Is this an action? Damn.
All right, Duathi, what are we
I'm
thinking?
going to cast invisibility.
Oh, okay. On yourself? All right. With that, Duathi is invisible.
Alright. And then I would like to. I'd like to come around here because this way towards the stairs.
Okay.
Towards the spider. So I'd like to go in between Aiken and this creature here, and
30 feet will get you there.
that's perfect. And I would like to wait and see where this spider is going to move to. So
Okay.
that's going to be my turn.
That is then going to bring us to the roly-poly creatures. Who, with all of this movement happening around them, this one's going to scurry here. And as it does, you see one of its long antennae,
Nope.
and it turns its head,
Nope.
and very quickly
No.
Yeah.
begins
Oh no.
moving here.
Oh no.
The second one is going to move there. Yeah, it's gonna smell as well. Attempt to move here. Its antenna kind of brushes around you, Andy, but for the most part it hits, well, it comes near your clothing, and it seems to be directed at coming through you. but doesn't seem aggressive to you.
Yeah, but
That's going to be it for those.
Aggressive
Which
towards
is then
Chauncey,
going
which
to
is a
bring us
problem.
to the giant spider.
Uh-huh.
That it's going to crawl up along the wall here, staying on the side of the wall. And it is going to attempt to web.
Uh-huh.
Going to attempt to web you, Icon.
Okay.
However, with a 2 on the die,
Ugh.
it shoots webbing out at you, and you're able to bring your shield up, and it. But you are unaffected by it. As it comes out, from behind it,
Oh!
skitters out
Why?
Babies.
3 smaller spiders.
Okay.
It's a family.
We're going to move along as well. This one. Gonna get here. This one's gonna get here. This one's going to climb along here as they, with essentially the mother having left, they skitter out and around the walls, down. That is going to be it for them.
Okay, so that was right.
That's going to bring us to Aaron. You are up. Andy, you are on deck.
Your sword is not hot anymore. It stopped when I became an
Okay, good to know. Well, take out Mama first. You'll see Aaron's eyes snap up to the giant spider above him, and I am going to kind of weave my hands around the pendant that's hanging around my neck, and for the first time, Aaron is going to summon 3 small glowing dots, and he's going to shoot his hands forward as I cast Magic Missile at the giant spider.
Okay.
This will be 3 dots, all at the spider, dealing 11 points of force damage to it.
11 points of force damage to the giant spider. Very nice.
And then I would like to reach down, grab the rapier that is at my feet,
Okay.
and I'm going to use 30 feet of my movement to run up behind the rusty roly-poly that is behind Finn.
Okay.
Other direction. Yes. There.
Okay.
And I'm just going to kind of just stand there, and if it makes a lunge at all towards Chauncey, I will have words with it.
Okay. That is then going to bring us to Andy. You are up.
Okay.
Finn, you're on deck.
I'm going to cast Sanctuary on Chauncey.
Yeah!
Oh!
Woo!
I'm fine, you're fine.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, I don't know
Amazing.
if it'll.
No,
Yeah,
That's-
it's worth a try.
It was certainly the bane of my night that night.
mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it was rough.
Right.
Okay. It's interesting. So yeah, as you turn to Chauncey, placing a hand on one of his shoulders, a soft golden glow begins to bristle from your fingertips, skittering all along it. A very similar glow that you recall seeing on Dr. Sada.
Yeah.
Now, as if just sparks of golden energy fleeting across it until they reach his eyes, at which point all of the golden specks take on the same colors as his eyes, and now a bluish, sparkling shell protecting Chauncey.
Nice.
Okay. It says it's a wisdom save, but doesn't say, is it my spell save?
It'll be yes against
Okay.
your spell save.
All right. So, yeah, I'm going to stay there and have Chauncey just move as far towards the entrance, away from those creatures,
Okay.
as far as he can go.
20 feet will get him to the cave entrance. More will get him into it. If you'd like for Chauncey to just leave the cave entirely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
honestly.
With your
Just
boot.
As
yeah.
Chauncey leaves the cave.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to take any chances. I can't do a cantrip as well, can I?
No, not with that
Okay.
one.
That's what I figured. Okay, then I'll just stay there.
All right.
Be my
As
turn.
Chauncey moves away, you see the rust monsters there and Tene just reaching out, and the moment that your sanctuary has touched Chauncey, it's as if they lost a scent and are flickering
Oh,
about,
cool.
trying to find something else.
Nice.
Good.
Nice.
Okay. That will then bring us to Finn.
Right. As the shock kind of snaps me out of it, the sound of my torch hitting the ground is what snaps me out of it, and reminds me, we need to make a decision here, as I extend my hand and the scorching ray that was so effective last time comes back out at the big one.
Okay.
All 3 shots.
Go ahead and roll those attacks.
Oh, not that good. 11?
11 misses.
Yep. All right, second one. Not budget. 13?
13 misses.
Oh,
Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Cock.
that is so cocked.
That is super
At least it
cocked
wasn't the
over here.
one. Oh. Oh, that's better. 18.
18 will hit.
All right. Perfect.
Something.
For 9 points of fire
Points
damage.
of fire damage. Okay. As the rays go wild, you see 2 of them, as they reach towards, almost are redirected, flying off into different directions, while the third hitting him straight in the face. He reels back, but is still standing.
Right. You two seem to have this handled, and hopefully they follow Chauncey out. I'm going this way, and I'll walk just into kind of towards the direction of Dwarthy, but more towards the pocket in the. Yeah,
Here?
that's great.
All right.
I've got your backs. And that's me.
Okay.
I've left the torch where I was previously standing, so hopefully I'm still in the dim light here, and it's illuminating most of the room with 20 feet of bright light coming off of it, and then 20 more feet of dim.
Excellent. There's a decent amount of light now being generated in this room with a source here and a source here. Oh no, you picked up your rapier, so
Yeah.
both sources are there now.
Right.
Okay. Finn, as you look back over towards the giant spider, and you had seen the 2 rays go wild, there's a moment where it looks as if you're not sure if it's the heat of the rays. You've seen the effect of the world kind of shimmering from heat coming off of the ground. It almost looks as though that was happening directly in front, and it seems to move.
Oh.
And as it moves, as if blending in from one source of reality to another, a large spider's leg seeps into reality
What?
with a blackened blue spindly leg,
Okay.
as now suddenly appearing in front of you.
What?
What?
They're everywhere,
No.
including nowhere.
What?
No.
That's not good.
As if jumping from a pocket
Oh no.
in its own side of the world into your own.
Oh shit.
And it is going to attempt to make an attack.
Of course.
Oh.
But with an 8 on the die.
Oh shit.
Finn, what's your armor class?
12.
So sorry.
It's a fine day to not put on major armor.
That's 6 points of piercing damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw from you,
Pocket
please.
spider.
Oh boy. Surprise spiders. Con. Hey, that's 11.
11 just saves.
Good. And you said six points of.
Piercing,
Okay.
and 5 points of poison damage.
11. Hey, I can use a reaction spell at the same time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, hang on. It might only do acid and not poison. Absorb elements will take care of only acid, unfortunately. So no luck.
All right. That is going to be it for the strange spider. That is then going to bring us back to Icon. You are up. Duathi, you are on deck.
Is it within melee of Finn?
Yes.
And technically Aaron. Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Essentially, it's between.
I would like to, hearing that commotion behind me, ignore Mama Spider
Mm-hmm.
and run up opposite Aaron.
Opposite Aaron. All right.
Yeah,
Trying to get that friendship.
trying to get that friendship. Yeah.
About here.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna stay at it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Ooh, same number on both dies. That's a 9.
9 misses.
Mhm. That's an action. Okay, yeah, that's all I can do currently. Just set Aaron up for advantage.
Okay. That's going to bring us to Duathi. You are up.
Alright, well now I see a new thing to attack. Can I get within melee of? I'd like to very quietly move up to try and get within melee of the big blue fellow.
15 will get you here.
Perfect. I would like to invisibly reach out my hand and tremor my fingers through the air. And as I do, under my breath, I just like to whisper, "Rat." And I'm going to try and reach out to grab it, who cast inflict wounds.
Nice.
Okay. As you're invisible, go ahead and roll this with advantage.
Oh, that's good. That is going to be a 26.
26 definitely hits.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of damage.
Giggling from nowhere.
Sort of. That is going to 9 points of necrotic.
9 points of
Very
necrotic.
great.
Just see an arm reappear.
As you reach out to touch one of the long spindles of its legs, you're able to grab it, and the end of it immediately rots and falls off. You can see some greenish liquid begin to pour out from it. But yeah, that hurt it.
I am now visible.
Spider goo. Spider goo.
Anything else on your turn, Duathi?
I would like to use my bonus action to tap my staff into the ground.
Casting.
Casting Shillelagh.
Excellent. As the end of your staff erupts in blackened thorns.
Alright.
All right, that's going to bring us to these creatures who... Yeah. This one is going to make its way around. 30 feet will get it there. As one of its antennas seems to lock in on Icon.
I'd love an opportunity attack if you don't mind.
Sure thing, go ahead and make that attack roll.
Why is it looking at me?
Will a 13 hit, GM?
A 13
I don't have any metal.
does not hit.
Okay.
All right. So as you swing your sword, the rust on it has change the weight ever so slightly, but it is enough for your constant, perfected, trained arm to be adjusted. As it runs up to you, both antennae seem to skitter in, and yeah, it's going to attempt to.
Touch me.
Yeah, it's going to brush up against your torso with its antennae.
You know, did it just move into melee range with me?
It did, yes.
Can I use my reaction really quickly as
Sure.
it's going to go attack? I would like to use my reaction and pull my hand around my spear and tighten and use my hello spores. I need a con save.
Okay. Ooh. That is going to be a 6.
Oh, that is a fail.
Oh.
Alright, here. That is going to be 3 points of necrotic damage.
Okay. This being the same one that had attempted to eat the fiery
I
hot
feel
rapier.
so bad about this, but I'm still trying to eat my friends. So here we go.
Let's see. That is going to be an 18 icon.
That's my armor class.
Okay. As its antennae brush up against, it feels the metal of your armor, and as soon as they touch, it comes out and quickly takes a bite towards you.
No, thank you.
Ooh, that's going to be 7 points of piercing damage.
Rude.
And your AC. Actually, sorry, take that back. You take no damage. I actually need a dexterity saving throw from you.
Okay. So that was 7 points. Dex save.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, be with me, dice.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
16.
16. As its antennae come out, they quickly head towards your armor, but you are able to jump back before they are able to have it to touch it. Okay. The other one. Yeah, I don't think. Andy, are you carrying anything?
I mean, my hammer.
Your hammer is magical, correct?
Yeah.
So
that's true.
yeah, as you notice this one, its antennae. I'm reaching around trying to find something, and it doesn't seem to latch on to any scent until its antenna points towards Aaron, and it's going to begin to move over towards you.
This is problematic.
And yeah, its antennae are going to.
Oh, wait. Can I take
You
them?
absolutely
Okay.
can.
Smash that bone.
Hammer, anvil,
Cool.
now!
Yeah, I'm going to throw my hammer at it. That's a 10.
10 unfortunately misses. So yeah, as it is, I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw from you, Aaron, as its antennae kind of reach out looking for another meal and seem to be mostly interested in your blade.
Dexterity saving throw. That is a 15.
15. You are easily able to bring it out of the way of its antennae.
Mine!
As if a child reaching for food, they just kind of reach up and are flitting through the air. That's going to be it for those creatures, bringing us to the giant spider.
What?
It's going to scurry down,
Mama, don't have me.
and it's going to be able to get right here towards you, Dwarfy.
Okie dokie.
It's going to take a bite at you, Dwarfy. With a 2 on the die.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't even need to see what its bonus is. You hear it. You are now attuned to the sound of spiders. As you look over your shoulder, you are able to beat its one of its legs away.
It's been like 90% of what I've fought since meeting all of you.
That's then going to bring us to the little
Everywhere.
spiders. This one's going to skitter down.
Freaking spiders.
30 people get it there. This one's going to get here and is going to make an attack against Icon.
I hate to be that person, yes. 'Cause
Mhm.
I should've done
Oh,
that.
he knew.
There's going to be a 19.
That hit.
All right. Icon, that is going to be 5 points of piercing damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw from you, please.
That's a 13.
13 saves. You take 3 points of poison damage.
Okay.
Second spider is going to come on in and is going to come towards you, Finn. This one not getting to a position where it would have advantage is only going to be an 8 to hit.
Yeah.
Great. Nope.
It would pass through your area if you wanted that opportunity attack.
I would.
Absolutely.
I would.
I would like that.
That's a 9.
9 does not hit.
Dice jail.
Okay, that is going to be it for the spiders. Bring us to Aaron. You are up. Andy, you're on deck. Finn, you're in the hole.
Okay, I would love to, with my free hand, draw the dagger from my hand and
Okay.
chuck it to the ground at my feet.
Okay.
I would then like to turn around and stab the hell out of the butt of this blue spider behind me.
Sure,
With
go-
my action.
Go ahead and make that attack roll at advantage.
This will be with booming blade.
Yeah.
That is going to be a soft 20 to hit.
We've got
20.
friendship if you want to try and get that.
Oh yeah. See if we can find that crit. Nope.
Okay.
Still a 20.
Okay, that's definitely going to hit.
So it's going to take 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then I would like to bonus action disengage and run towards Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little bit of separation.
You're able to get there easily.
And get the disco right here.
I will then look to Andy. Yeah, we gotta pick up from over here.
Yeah.
And I will finish my turn.
Okay. That is going to be Andy. You're up. Finn, you're on deck.
Okay, I am going to move closer to the roly-poly guy and use my breath weapon at him and the blue spider.
Oh, okay.
So that's a dex save.
All right. The roly-poly is going to be a 13,
Okay, that saves.
and the purple spider is going to be a 17.
Oh, that saves.
Being level 4th.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, great. I love not being able to use Chauncey in this battle. Okay, I guess that will be my turn
All
then.
right. For the sake, what would you like for Chauncey to be doing? Because at this point, he's...
Stay out there, because if he attacks, the sanctuary goes away.
Mhm. So basically, your orders to him were to leave.
Stay out
Hide,
there.
maybe,
Yeah,
somewhere?
hide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, as long as the sanctuary is up, like, he should be safe, but I just don't want him in there.
Sure.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Finn.
Well, hate to be rude, and not to leave you in a lurch or anything, but this is not my kind of party, and I'm not one for crowds, as I just vanish and reappear up on the ledge using Misty Step.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, good.
30 feet will get you here.
I mean,
I think I
oh,
have
spaghetti-o, but
60?
oh, good.
No, I could be wrong. Hang
I
on.
think it's 30 for a Misty.
Okay, yeah, just 30. All right, that's fine. And then I'll shout back down at the group. Oh, over here, you things! And I look, not a one for bugs or intimidation, but
All them jerk faces.
oh, that's right, joke face. As a mind sliver escapes my fingers with a little hint of
Nice.
psychic glowing energy coming out at the one I've been attacking,
The giant one?
giant, not invisible one.
Gotcha. Okay, is that a save for it? Or?
Is yes, intelligence.
Intelligence. Well, wouldn't you know it? With a -4 to its intelligence, that's going to be a 6.
Oh, yes.
Hey.
Must have hurt his feelings. So that means 1d6, and then it's going to have a 1d4 minus its next saving throw. That's 5 points of damage. And right off the momentum of calling him a joke face and seeing his distinct feelings. I'm running now my 30 feet of movement along the precipice here.
All right. As you get up to this area, there's a moment where you can see inside this tunnel. It's almost like the home of a trapdoor spider, where you can just see one long tunnel of spider webbing going down.
It's dope, but also
And 30 feet will get you here.
Great.
Okay. That is then going to bring us to the bluish spider, which is going to turn its body around and make an attack at Duathi.
Oh no, why me?
You just poked its butt.
My dice love you guys.
Speak
Well,
for
we love
you.
it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
dice.
That's only going to be a 12 to hit.
Oh no.
We love your dice too.
Yeah. As its leg comes at you, it leans back a little bit too hard on the one that is now missing its end, and it goes wide. And as it reels back, it then relapses forwards, and as it does, it vanishes.
What?
What?
Damn. I was sort of going to do it.
Booming blade. Movement of its own.
I need to check something really quick.
That was my experimental attack.
Right.
Pocket spider. Okay. Okay.
Would help if I grabbed the correct book.
New fear unlocked. There's spiders everywhere, including right in front of my face, most likely. That is way worse than waking up to one 20 feet away.
True. We were
gonna say,
awake for this one.
Go ahead and roll the damage for me.
Sure.
And let me know what it is.
That is 4 points of force damage. Oh, sorry, thunder.
Okay. There is a moment, thunder damage, you say? As it vanishes, there is a crackling that echoes through the entire cave of at the exact spot where the spider vanished.
Oh. What does that mean?
That is then going to bring us to Icon. You are up. Duathi, you're on deck.
Great. Oh, I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna turn to the roly-poly that just tried to eat my armor, and I'm going to attempt to stab it.
I need.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
That's a nat 20.
Yo!
Or a 24.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll that damage.
And I would like to use a spell slot to Divine Smite this time.
Yeah, there
Okay.
we go.
All the spells on for smite.
I double all of that, right?
Yeah.
That was probably overkill.
That's the best kind of damage.
It's just
Especially with
fun.
smites.
Yep.
That's 28 points of damage. 6 of which are radiant.
Okay. As you jab towards this creature, the tip of your spear piercing its armor, there's an eruption of radiant energy as the being from the inside lights up, and this light juts out from the creases in its hide all the way up through its antennae. You can see the veins of this creature as the light just beams out from it. The light fades and it falls. As you pull your spear out, the tip of it glistening perfectly in the light.
Okay. Then I'd like to, with my movement, I'm not leaving the spider's range. I just want to get kind of back to back with Duathi.
Okay.
So right next to Duathi. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Facing the Spidey. My Spidey.
Facing your spider.
My Spidey.
Absolutely. Okay. Anything else on your turn, Icon? Okay.
That's all I can do.
Duathi, you are up.
Alright. I'll be right back. I can, and then I am going to, with my action, I'm going to take a deep breath and activate the spores
Okay.
around me. And then with my bonus action, I just swirl in a puff of gray, and I would like to teleport to the other side of the spider.
All right.
Sweet.
Anything else on your turn, Duathi?
That I can do.
Okay.
I hope it makes me feel better.
Bringing us to the other roly-poly. Its antennae beginning to follow you as you had run away, immediately focus down on the dagger as it just hunches down and begins chewing away at it. And that's all that it does.
That's bait.
Now I feel bad for the other guy.
That was smart.
It did
No,
attack.
it was, and
Then going
what
to
it
bring
is.
us
They
to the
could-
giant spider.
they could eat Chauncey. So.
Yeah.
It is going to just hunch over ever so slightly to get to you, Icon.
Sup?
And it is going to make a bite attack against you. That's just a 15 to hit. That's it for the giant spider. Bring us to its...
Actually, can I, as that turn is ending, I know it's supposed to do at the beginning of its turn, but can I use my reaction to make it make a con save?
I will say
It's too late.
I said it was the end of its turn.
No, it's totally fine. I was just trying to find something.
It's all good. Its kin is going to turn towards you and also make a
Yeah.
little bite attack.
Hi, buddy.
This one a lot smaller than the other, but just within 11.
Good.
The other one is going to rush over to this
yeah.
side.
Oh, I
of you.
forgot there was another
I knew
one.
there was another
So-
one, and I
It's little.
was like, where did it go?
That one is going to be 23 to hit.
Yeah.
That is going to be... wait. 2 points of piercing damage, and I need a con save from you.
Okay. That's a 5.
That is a failure. You take an additional 7 points of poison damage.
Okay. I'm not getting poisoned.
No.
Okay. Cool. 7 points of poison. Love that for me.
The last of the spiders is going to rush up to Aaron and going to make a bite attack at you. It's just a 12 to hit.
That'll miss.
Okay, that is it for those spiders, bringing us to Aaron. You're up. Andy, you're on deck. Finn, you're in the hole.
Okay, it changes my plans a little bit. Yes. I would like to do-si-do with the spider that just attacked me.
Okay.
Up against that little crook there. Bonus action, try and hide, and by dropping the light that's on my rapier. I don't know if I dropped that yet, but I officially
Sure.
want to just like douse it and then attempt to tuck myself against the wall there.
As the light vanishes, I will say you're able to push yourself against the wall, but realistically, there's nothing to hide behind.
Okay.
It is very clearly able to see.
Yeah,
you.
yeah, still, okay. I wasn't sure if there was just enough of a crook there. Anyway, I will then hold my action to hold magic missile for when that Banthy spider appears.
Okay.
You're going to see 3 small swirling chain darts appear in front of my hand as I just tune my eyes to the entire room for that little blip of blue.
Love it. That's going to bring us then to Andy. You're up. Finn, you're on deck.
Okay, I'm just gonna flank that tiny spider with Aaron,
Okay.
and attack it with my hammer.
As you move away from the creature,
Yeah,
it's eating its dagger.
distracted. Okay, that is a 25.
Absolutely hits.
And then 1d. That is an 8 points of bludgeoning.
8 points of bludgeoning damage on that spider?
Mhm.
Sure thing. As you crack your hammer on its head, there's a moment where there's a sheer indentation as you pull the hammer away, it stays. But the spider is still standing.
Okay.
Good hit,
Cool.
Andy.
That will be it.
Okay. That then brings us to Finn.
Under my breath, I'm just impressed that the spider sustained that hit as I then track back to the bundle of friends and foes in the middle. Is there a spider I can't see from here that's not within 5 feet of an ally?
No, they are all...
Yeah, just clumped up, huh?
Yeah.
All right, then we're going for accuracy as I let a similar round of magic missiles out. But these are burning as they crackle with fire damage.
Absolutely. Where are you sending them out to?
I think we just gotta focus, and they are all going at the big one.
Okay.
4, 3, 11.
11. As the first hits, the spider pushes back against it. The second hitting one of the legs, it catches over to one side, and the third hitting it on the underbelly fully flips the creature over. That deep hissing that you heard from before as its legs curl up into a very similar pose to what you had seen in the cave.
Oh, no.
That's the one thing I like about spiders. It's satisfying. And just kind of looking around, does it seem like, well, no, can't get that that nest out of my mind. So I'm going to step over to the ledge this way, just try to get it within my peripheral vision.
Out here?
Yeah.
Sure.
hmm I don't know where I'm going from here, but views are good.
All right. Really quick, Aaron, whereabouts are you looking? Where's your field of vision that you're trying to find?
I saw, at least I have no idea how this thing is maneuvering about the cavern, so I was looking kind of like in a 270-degree pan this way. So if it's behind me, sure, it's got me.
As you're peering about it, knowing that this could appear from anywhere, you don't feel anything behind you. And it takes a moment to register, but it begins to appear directly above Icon.
Yeah.
As if in a free fall, it reappears and comes down to attack you.
Oh, man.
I mean, sick moves, bro.
Due to the nature of its appearing, you can go ahead and release this, but
Okay.
it will be able to still get an attack off at Icon
Sure.
first.
Yeah. Pew, pew, pew. Let's go.
This is now going to be surprise spider.
Surprise spider
As,
is
yeah,
accurate.
pretty much falling directly down onto you. We're going to put it here for now, but we'll deal with the consequences of that here in a moment.
Another 11 points of force damage.
11 points of force damage.
What do you mean consequences?
Okay. And that's a 23 to hit.
Of course.
It hit the last time. I think it still
Yeah.
hits.
Yeah.
It's going to be 8 points of piercing damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
It's a 12.
Okay, that is a success.
Okay.
You only take
Doesn't it?
4 points of poison damage. I do, however, need you to make a strength saving throw as it has landed on top of you. Actually, your choice, strength or dexterity. Are you attempting to avoid, or are you
No, I'm
attempting...
going to take the...
And, okay, perfect. Because the dex would have been at disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm not Dexy.
Or Midnight Runner.
Okay, inside the thing, please. That's a 19.
Pretty good. It lands essentially on top of you, and you are able to withstand it from your shield and push it off of you. You are not knocked prone, so it does land on the side there.
I look ragged.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is then going to bring us to Icon. You are up. Duathi, you are on deck.
Okay. Do what I gotta do. Pocket spider. Pocket surprise. I am
Pocket
going
surprise.
to spin around and try to do in a blaze of glory, stab this thing.
All right, go ahead and make that attack roll.
That'll be a 19 to hit.
19 does hit.
I am going to do another spell slot to smite.
Okay.
Come on.
Do you need me to break this out?
No.
Okay. 20 points of damage.
20 points. Very similarly to the roly-poly, as light beams out of all of its eyes, and the one opened limb that Duathi had created, as it too flips onto its back and curls up.
And I vomit just a little bit. Yeah, and I'm breathing really heavy.
Okay. Duathi, you are up.
I'm going to, as I reappear and rematerialize here in this spot, and then myself again, I'm going to drop my shield. And I'm going to hold my hand. As I do, my hand will stay down towards the ground and reaching to wrap my fingers around my bracelet, reaching towards the earth. I'm going to say return to the dirt. And I need a con save from those two spiders as I cast Wither and Bloom.
Nice.
For the first spider, that is going to be a con save, you say?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 7
That is a failure.
and a 20.
The 20 is a save. So it will take half damage.
Okay.
Duarte seems happiest in
Yeah,
combat.
that was a fun
Good song.
damage roll song.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Oh!
That is going to be 11 points of necrotic damage, half on the save,
11 points of necrotic damage.
and half on the save, so 5.
All right. Okay.
And as that happens, all of the plants, any plant or moss that is in that area also peels away and rots.
Okay.
And also in that moment, you may use one unspent hit die to heal yourself if you want to.
Oh,
So
I would like to.
energy.
And it's just the die. No, okay. So I heal for 6.
Let me double check that. Plus my spellcasting modifier.
Oh.
So add 7. No, 4. Add 5.
5?
Add 5. Math hard. Add
Great.
5.
Great. So that was a total of
7,
11.
4,
So
5.
as you see parts of the
Numbers.
spiders begin to peel back, and the ground around you dying, the ground directly beneath you, a new birth of plant life erupts. And as you breathe in the scent, they both bloom and then immediately crumble as small bits of glowing green reach up into you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That spell.
I believe that is all that I can do. Unless, can I use my bonus action to pick my shield back up?
Unfortunately, no.
That is okay. It will stay on the ground.
All right. So that is then going to bring us to the creature that is still chomping away at the dagger. Now fully with it in its mouth, it's going to take its food. And as it kind of curls around it, and you begin to hear that same lapping sound as whatever it is eating begins to just dissolve away.
That's gross, but so cool.
That is then going to bring us that is then going to bring us to the spiders, which the ones surrounding you, Icon, are both going to make an attack. This is just going to be an attack from both of them. That's a 21 from one of them and a 15 from the other. All right, so the 21, that is going to be 4 points of piercing damage, and I need another con save.
16.
That is a success. You take another 2 points of poison.
Okay. That would have taken me down.
And the one between
From before.
Finn and Aaron is going to, and Andy is, the one between Aaron and Andy is going to attack Andy.
Sure.
I don't know why I did that at advantage.
Just because you wanted
That
to.
is going to be a 15 to hit.
Just, yeah.
Okay. That is going to be 6 points of piercing damage, and a con save from you as well. As you feel the fangs of this creature bite into you.
Sorry. Con save. That's a 14.
14 saves, you take 3 points of poison damage.
And how many was it before? Sorry.
6 points of piercing and 3 poison.
Okay.
So 9 in total.
Okay.
That is going to be it for the spiders. Bringing us, Aaron, you're up. Andy, you're on deck. Finn, you're in the hole.
I would like to. Have any of the spiders across the way taken any hits? It looked as if, have I noticed any slash of steel over there? And that,
Mostly the melting away from what Dwathi had just done to them.
Okay, I would like to. I would like to ensure that we live through the night, so I'm going to spend my last spell slot to magic missile towards the 2 spiders over by Icon.
Okay.
2 at the one on my right.
Okay.
The 3rd at the one on my left.
Okay.
So the one on the left is going to take 2 points of force damage.
Okay.
The other one is going to take 8 points of force damage.
As the orbs spin towards it, as if getting knocked away by a small bowling ball, they both get flown backwards, not even able to curl up before they are squished against the wall.
Okay.
Oh, both.
I'll just look over at Ike and be like, for Melos. And then I'm going to stay with Andy and lock eyes with her and be like, let's bring this one down.
Okay.
Andy, it's up to you.
Alright, I guess I'll go after this guy since I have friendship, although that roly-poly needs to go, so Chauncey can be safe. That is double 7s. So that's a 13.
13 just hits.
Yeah! Bonk, bonk.
Great. That's 3, 6. That's 7 points of bludgeoning.
As you see exactly where you would hit it the first time, you're like, all right, do it again. Smashing your hammer down. This time there's a cracking as your hammer goes through the head of this creature before it hits the ground. The spider then shortly afterwards falling as well.
Okay. Alright, then I'll just kind of take a second to announce to everybody and be like, I'm really sorry, but it seems like we have to take out this other guy.
It's okay.
Okay, that will be my turn.
Okay. That is then going to bring us to Finn. You are up. Icon, you're on deck. Dwathi, you're in the hole.
Right. As you say, I'm just hoping they aren't the cats of the spider family that live here. Here, kitty, kitty. As a firebolt comes out towards the roly-poly all the way
Sure,
back.
go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
No, Finn kind of closed his eyes as he was. It was the cat. As a 9.
Yeah, that goes wide as maybe your heart just isn't quite in it.
No.
But it goes, yeah.
It reminds me of a pet.
Icon, you are up. Dwathi, you're on deck.
Yeah, I'll trudge over to the last little roly-poly, and
As you walk towards it, it doesn't even seem to pay any attention to you.
I'll bring my spear down.
Okay.
That's 12 to hit.
That also misses.
Yeah.
As your spear kind of into the ground, it kind of flinches back and begins to look around, still just, at this point, like a half-eaten dagger in its mouth.
And I'll just hold up like this, bracing for whatever could happen.
Duathi?
Is the roly-poly in range for me to get to it to melee range, or is it too far away? Do think
You could
I
get
can
right up to
there?
it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave my shield behind for now.
Yeah, right here.
Okay. I will look down at this creature and say, I am sorry, small friend, but in order for the rest of us to live, you are going to have to die, and I am very sorry about that. And I'll take back my quarterstaff in the packet.
Go ahead and make that attack roll.
Elves with sticks.
Natural 1.
Oh my god.
Can you tell that we feel bad about this?
Anything else from you, Duathi?
Nope.
Okay. Now being surrounded, its antennae focusing in, wrapped around the dagger, it's going to scurry along the wall and attempt to just curl up in this corner. If either of you want to do anything.
I'll take my reaction.
Hmm?
Apparently not. That's a 6 to hit.
Yeah.
I will have it make a con save.
Sure. That is going to be a 5.
3 points of necrotic damage.
All right. As part of it, you see part of its back carapace begin to rot away in the same way that it rots away the metal. But this is the first time that it's really been hit, and you see it curl up in this corner and just kind of focus in on the dagger again.
I think maybe we should leave it alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have anything else we can give this creature to maybe get it to go outside? Looking through my inventory.
Did it disappear before? I remember you tried to throw some coins at it, Duathi. Did
I
that?
didn't really. I said I was going to try and
Right,
get it.
let's
I
get
kind
it
of got
away.
to my hand in the pocket and it.
That's what we
And
were-
then there were surpriders.
Some priders. They were
There we
some
go.
priders.
Mhm. Yeah. You got spooked so bad that you forgot how to.
Okay. I
speak.
mean, I guess since Chauncey is protected right now, if we distract it with other stuff, maybe we can just get through. I guess the question is, where are we going?
I mean, we're gonna need to sleep here.
And
Yeah.
as this conversation is beginning, I'm going to say that that is going to pull us out of initiative.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I thought it was more surprises.
I am going to use 10 lay of hands on myself.
I'm sort of looking through my pockets. I have some copper I could use to try and maybe take it out of the cave. But will it die if I take it out of the cave?
Well, we could scatter some in various parts of the cave. Maybe it goes looking, we avoid, or we
could
just
also
keep an eye.
Give it part of the corpse of the creature that we came for.
Yeah.
We don't need the whole thing if it's already been eaten.
I will go over towards the corpse of the creature and see if maybe there's like a part of. I know it has lots of legs. Maybe a part of one of the legs is left.
The
that maybe I
skull.
could
The
remove.
skull's still around. That's cool. That's RJ talking.
You can see a chunk of the creature has been eaten away. All of the flesh seems to just be gone entirely. And about half of the metal of the body, the limbs seem to be entirely gone. The
Yeah,
tail as well, the smaller bits. A chunk has been taken out of the torso, and there's sections of the back end of the skull that seem to have been started, but for the most part, that section is...
Is there like maybe just a wedge of metal off of the side of the body that I could try and pull loose?
Sure, there's an upper part of one of the joints that as you reach down, it pulls apart easily. It seems that it was mostly held together by the
Well,
organic part.
okay.
I'm not sure how helpful it'll be with the flesh gone, but it doesn't hurt to take a piece.
I'll still make sure that it doesn't like get any grosser before we take it out. But I can't do that right now. I sort of want to concentrate on this buddy here and see if we can get it to leave us alone.
Okay.
I think just diverting its attention outside of the cave while we investigate is all we need. We don't need to entirely deter it. Chauncey seems to be rather protected from your wonderful spell there, and so let's just work quickly, and it can go on its business, and we'll be out of its way.
Certain. Okay, so I'll come over.
The sanctuary only lasts a minute.
Oh.
We'll bring him with us, and if it starts to attack him, we'll try and scare it off.
Okay.
Okay, so what I will do is I will sort of, if you want to bring Chauncey in, then what my plan is to sort of do is put the metal sort of by the over on this side of the cave, kind of towards the door. That way we can go further in, and then hopefully it will still be eating that when we come back out.
Okay.
Let's make that,
Sure.
Sounds like a plan. Yes, I like
Yeah.
it.
Right. When Chauncey comes, I'd like to put the metal sort of by the door, and when Chauncey comes in,
The metal by the door?
sort of right towards this one.
The entrance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the entrance where we're at.
What I would like to do when Chauncey comes in is sort of hold out my hand and use Druidcraft to have the little flower crown sort of grow along the top of him, maybe to mask the smell of the metal a little bit, and grow more vines over the top. That way maybe he smells less tasty.
Okay.
I'll also, just to be safe, cast Sanctuary again
Okay.
on him.
As
Just
Chauncey enters back in,
taking any chances.
is Druidcraft a touch spell, or?
No, within 30 feet.
Yeah. Chauncey entering back in, Dwathi, as you leave the bit of metal in a farther away section of the room, and the crown beginning to grow slightly, Andy re-upping Sanctuary. There doesn't appear to be any sort of reaction from the creature in the corner that is happily just lapping away at a half-eaten dagger. And Dwathi, what's the range on detect? Oh wait, that's a concentration spell, and you turn invisible, yeah? Okay.
I'd like to pick up the torch that Finn dropped.
Thank
Would it still be lit? I don't know how
Yeah.
that...
Yeah.
And I'd like to walk up to the tunnel, the trapdoor spider tunnel, and light the webs on fire.
As you reach the torch up, for a brief moment, almost like a slight fuse, but then in a torrent, it down the tunnel.
Oh, cool.
And there's a moment of backblast as heat hits you in the face. Give me a quick dex check, as some of this fire comes back at you.
Ooh, that's cocked. That's a 6.
6. All right.
Oh, wait, check? Yeah, 6.
Or saving throw, I should say.
It's the same.
You do take 6 points of fire damage as a blast of flame comes back with apparently nowhere else for this fire to go.
Okay.
I'm going to...
I should have known.
I'm going to walk up to my friend and cast Cure Wounds.
I was going
Pat them on the back.
to thank you for coming up here and clearing that, but, well, now I wish you didn't. Are you okay? As I gently take the torch out of his hands.
13 points of healing, do you?
That's twice what I had.
And as you pull the torch away, Finn, throughout the smoke, the light cutting through now the ash of this tunnel, there's a brief moment that you see the light reflected on some metal resting on the ground. And with that, we are going to take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be back in 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you very soon. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed your break. Now that we have returned to the cave, and you have now met spiders for the second time, but in a new location. Having a tunnel of flame reaching out at you, Iken, and Finn now seeing a flint of metal peering out from the smoke.
Oh.
We return.
Well, I hope that was not too painful, because I probably would have just hopped down instead of walked past that again. So
Yeah,
there is something in there, and
that's where Aaron and I found the dead body in the pit last time.
from
Yeah.
from below.
Here, I'm in pretty good shape, and I have about 9 minutes left of having a lot of extra health. So I'll go in.
I'll be right there with you, because it might take some effort to pull out if it's whole.
I recall. Okay.
I like the advantage from the higher ground, so I can stay up here on the bridge and give you cover.
Sure. Just keep an eye on that creature and sort of, distract it if we need to.
Yeah, I'll turn my attention toward the rusty boy over there. And, I'm not gonna actively acknowledge it, but I just want to keep tabs and make sure it doesn't start wandering places where it's not supposed to go. I'll
Sure.
stick around and help Andy deter it from wherever Chauncey's at. He's good. Good on my watch.
So the two of you essentially hanging out by the
creature.
entryway.
Yeah.
You're on the balcony.
Yeah, kind of right in the middle of the.
You know what? If you guys will look after Chauncey, I can actually help with.
You want to come with us?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I think you'll want eyes on this anyway, Andy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And you're leading.
Yes. Because I've got a lot of health points for the next 9 minutes.
Yeah,
and
I have a way to get a little bit stronger.
me too. Okay. So I would like to sort of wind my way in there and see if I can find out what that piece of metal is.
Of course, as you step into this cave, you recall this is much smaller than the main entryway. At this point, pretty much required single file. As you step through, you come to the bend that you remember from the last time you came in, and you see on the ground what seemed to be glittering in the torchlight is in a lower segment of remains of that creature. So
Oh, great.
part of metal and not a terrible amount of the body is damaged. It's small and it seems to have fallen off.
Well, if we get it all back together, I can keep it from rotting anymore. So there's that. Anything else in here while I'm poking around? Sort of moving my stick in the rocks and the dirt to see if there's anything else.
There's not
in
really
there?
anything to stick around in it's a fairly solid ground tunnel.
Okay.
But as you look down the rest of the tunnel towards the hole, give me a perception check.
I don't know if I can help by pointing out where we last saw the surprise dead body.
Whoa.
I don't think so, because at this point
Okay.
you've both been here and seen this segment.
Groovy.
And that is a dirty 20.
20. Looking down, you can see a lot of scratch marks down where the hole is that you recall originally the bodies were and where you had left one of them.
Mhm.
And jutting out from it, you can see one old, rotted, but mostly intact spine.
All right. Does it look? I'll give it a quick tug. Is it heavy?
Having to move up to the spine, you get to where the hole goes straight down to the ground. And yeah, you can grab the spine and pull it out from the ground. It's about 6 inches long, so it's a smaller.
Oh, one of the spines.
Yes.
I was thinking like a spinal.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was also thinking
Spinal
spine.
column.
No, this is one of the barbed.
The
Good.
stuff.
Yeah, I have one of the
You
canisters,
do, yeah.
so I'll hand it over to
Well, and at this point,
Right.
being in
Where's
single file, you're
I'm at
up,
the front.
and the
And
two of you
right
kind of
I
next
still
will
at
will
the.
pass it.
pass it
Will
along.
As you pull it out, you can see that the lower organic section of it doesn't appear to have been eaten away. It has rotted with time, but it appears to have a gooey substance inside of it.
Still.
Still active. Let's be very
I'll just
careful
hold
with the
the-
fingers.
Just
Canister out for Aiken to kind of
Yeah.
put it in.
And looking at this, it is very different. You've seen a fresh spine, and you've seen that it was pretty liquid on the
Yeah.
inside. This seems to have coagulated and is
Right.
much more of a paste. Because the lower section of this has rotted away and is now exposed to the air.
No.
That's interesting.
Is there any way to go further into this cave from where we are, or is this the end?
Where you are standing, the cave ends and it goes into that little pit where the bodies had been found.
Okay.
Looking in, you can now see a small trickle of water that has started in this small hole. It looks like this is just a naturally carved away section.
Alright. Is there... You know what I'm going to do, if it's alright with everyone, if I take a few moments, I think I should ask the bones one more time and see if there's anything else, if we should stay and continue looking in this cave.
It
See if we've gotten what we need.
it costs you something to use the bones, yes?
Not if I take a lot of time.
Oh, okay. Sure.
If I take about 10 minutes or so.
I have other methods to try, but if
No, actually, I think at the moment you're still out on the balcony.
oh,
Right, that's
Yeah.
right.
right.
We're-
But yeah, if we could, we'll head back out. And
Yeah.
we can talk about it.
Yeah, I think we should.
Should we take a piece of this guy since he
Oh,
earned
yeah,
this
yeah.
piece?
Let's take this piece
Yeah.
too. I'll pass it back again. We'll cut the daisy chain. I'll give it
would
to
it
Aiken.
fit in one of the canisters? Or
You were able to. You grabbed a couple of scroll cases.
right, would it fit in one of those?
Barely,
The-
especially now that it has rotted away slightly.
Okay.
It's thin enough, and as you put it into the scroll case to see if it's if it fits lengthwise, the back end of either side,
Yeah.
as you put it in barb first the first time,
Right.
the back end juts out slightly.
Okay. But when I put the
It won't fit
Okay.
fully. It's a loose
But a
fit, but
little
it
bit.
does. It is
Okay.
now in there.
If we go back and put it with the main body, if you give me another 10 minutes after that, I can stop it from rotting.
okay,
If it's part of the same body, at least theoretically.
sure.
And then maybe we can put it in a box or something before we go on the boat.
Okay.
Don't know how I feel about that.
The way that the spine was embedded in the ground,
Mhm.
and you said there were scratch marks,
Mhm.
does it seem like there was a scuffle, or more like the spider might have pulled it out and then, just like nature, it just got scattered by scavengers and
Give me a survival check.
uh, 11.
11. It doesn't appear as though there was a violent scuffle here. Looks like most of the scratch marks, they do appear to have been from a spider.
Okay,
Um,
that makes sense.
and as you look at them and follow, it's fairly easy to see, especially with something metallic having been dragged, you can now see a clear drag line that leaves out from the tunnel.
Okay,
Alright.
fascinating. All right, I think you have to head out first.
Okay. Turn around and start walking out.
Scooch backwards.
I'll also start heading back down the steps as I see them come back.
And the entire time that you've been out here observing this creature just seems to be gnawing away. Most of the way through the dagger, it's gotten to the the handle and is kind of like picking a bone dry. It's trying to find all the metal pieces.
Hope you weren't expecting that dagger back. I do have one if you need it.
Absolutely not. No, it's a hunting knife, basically. I don't do much hunting out here.
We've got more metal if we need it, and coin after that. Or we can try to lead it outside once the gang's back together.
Okay, I'm going to come back out and I will immediately sit down, sort of near the entrance to this whole area, and sit down and pull out my little bag of bones and start meditating for the next 10 minutes.
All right, so you want to hang out in the cave for the next 10 minutes?
That might be a little, 11
Yeah.
minutes.
Oh, right.
11 minutes.
Okay. As Dwathi begins to rest on this overpass, a brief moment goes by, and the creature seems to have finished the dagger. Looking at it, its antennae kind of flit up, and kind of flitter around. With you and Chauncey by the entrance to the tunnel, where did the two of you wander off, or the three of you wander off after leaving?
I'm next to Dwathi.
Okay.
And I think I would have kind of stopped towards the bottom of the stairs, and as I saw the dagger was almost gone, probably sent my mage hand to grab the bone that we've left.
What's
the metal.
The range on Mage Hand?
30 feet every 6 seconds, so, over time,
Gotcha.
like half a minute easily could bring it from
And it can hold
one side
5
to the
pounds?
other. 10.
10 pounds, okay. Yeah, so seeing it finish and bring your mage hand over to the piece that has been left, you can see the creature kind of resting and its antennae just kind of flitting around, not directed at anything in particular. It starts to curl up into essentially a ball. As your mage hand goes over and it lifts up the piece of metal, begins to slowly float towards the creature. As it gets closer and closer, one of the antennae, and directs over towards it. The second one, and it looks up alert. And before it has a chance to move, the bone has been brought towards it, and quickly both antennae wrap around it, and you can see the second that they touch, there's just oxidation that rusts over the metal. As they pull it in and it begins, once again, you just hear the as bits of it begin to just melt away and form a small pool of rust around this creature.
Andy, are you seeing this? I'm struck by an idea. If there was some way to take a sample or encapsulate whatever it is that causes that effect, I mean, well, if we ever come across more of these metal things, they could be weaponized or turned into a tool or a method of disposal. I don't know enough about any of that stuff, though, or how metal works.
I don't know how we do that, but I'm willing to try to figure it out.
Well, we already have one pet. I don't think they get along very well, so that option's off the table, and, well, maybe we just leave it.
Yeah, honestly,
Be-
these things
I'm very
kind of creep me out.
Just over my shoulder. There's a dead body.
Yeah, taking it with us, though. Well,
Yeah, I don't know. Since
we've
pretty
already.
much what I do is work with metal, I don't
Right.
really want something that can dissolve it.
Or the evidence that we came all the way back here for.
Yeah,
Would be. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, alright. It was a thought.
No, it's definitely
You know who would know?
interesting.
Sada.
Yeah.
I reach for her notebook and start looking to see if anything about rust inducing roly-polies
Sure.
are in there. That'll be my night's reading for later, but I'll just kind of like start flipping through the pages for now as we. How do I get a sense of how quickly that bone, the metal piece, is gonna go?
Give me a intelligence check on that.
All right.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
That's just a straight intelligence.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not great. 13.
13's not bad. Looking at it, it took a few minutes for the dagger to be devoured. Watching this thing, it seems to be taking much longer. You think this might suffice for a while.
Cool. Well, and it looked ready for a nap, so hopefully it stays full while we take ours. Or we could try to lead it out of the cave.
Duathi, what question are you asking?
I would like to look down at the bones, and in Druidic, I would like to ask, is there anything else to be learned in this cave? Should we stay and continue to investigate?
Okay. As you cast the coins, they fall in a very direct, and there's no hesitation to the response. And it is well.
All right, we have gotten what we came for. And I will scoop the bones back into the bag. There is nothing further to be gained in this cave. We have gotten what we came for. So I think we need to take this body and the spine. I will keep the body from rotting when we get back outside. I don't know if we want to keep moving after that or not, but I think we should probably leave the cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I'd feel better not having Chauncey near that
I
creature.
agree. All right. Shall we?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, just back to the woods.
Can I, before we do, I would like to look at the body of the surprider.
Sure.
Because it seems strange to have a creature just.
Yeah, you had never seen anything like this
Yeah.
before.
I would just like to see if I can glean any sort of nature of it, or take a piece of like a fang or something.
Sure.
I want to know.
As you inspect over this strange-looking spider, do you want this to? How do you want to look at this? Are you comparing it to other spiders? Are you looking at it from more of a medical perspective?
I'm looking at it from a taxonomical approach, basically.
Okay.
Like thinking about it in regards to other spiders. Because I think that's the only basis that I would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a nature check.
Okay. 15.
15. Looking over this creature, it is much. Its legs are much more thin than a lot of the spiders of this size. Now having seen 3 of them in total, but one that you now have a direct
Literally
reference
direct
to. So looking at it in comparison to the spider of similar size, it seems much more streamlined and much more violent. The ends of its legs, almost similarly to the creatures that you had fought before, they don't end in blades, but they are much more pointed at the end.
Do they seem natural, like chitinous?
It does seem to have a natural body. Looking over it, there is no unnatural material. But you do notice parts on its, now that it's not moving, you can see parts on its legs and on its back that almost appear like a second skin on top of it. But only in certain areas.
What?
And you recognize this as remnants of molting.
Oh. That's gross.
But the body that is on its, the body that it had molted looks similar to the other spider. It is not a white or blue color. It is a deep brown and thicker and heavier.
Okay.
Oh.
Could I try to harvest some of the molt? And it has fangs like other spiders?
Mhm.
Could I somehow
Sure.
just dagger?
You can take a
it
dagger
off?
to this. Easily you can pull off some of the molting. Give me a quick... I'll have this one be your choice of... Actually, no, we're going to have this one be medicine
Okay.
as you attempt to essentially surgically remove the fangs.
That was not in the tray. Medicine, that's 12.
12. You are able to cut away, and it's not just the fang that you remove, you also remove part of its full mandible.
Oh, great.
But yeah, you can take one off fairly
Okay.
well. It's not a clean surgery, but yeah.
Great.
While you're doing this, I'd like to step up and did you see it appear?
It was hard to miss it when it landed on top of me.
Well, I was looking right there. It wasn't there, and it suddenly was.
Mm-hmm.
But you do that too, Dorothy.
I do.
And the way you described it certainly sounded like a different, like it was stepping into visibility rather than
Mhm.
the whole body. Is that just my reading of it, or
No, that is exactly what it looked like.
right? So like stepping out of a shadow, except well, out of someplace unseen into this existence where no shadow was.
Does this ring any bell to me at all? Have I ever encountered creatures that can do this food? Does it sound similar to the thing? It feels mechanically similar to what I do. but-
It is not quite like what you do. So, if we compare it to both of the teleportations, both that you have done and that Duathi has done, whereas yours is literally a vanish and a reappear, and Duathi's does have a degree of shadowness to it. This creature, there was no shadow involved. It was almost stepping into a doorway, and that doorway was your reality.
Right.
But that is not something that you are familiar with, Duathi.
Do I know anything about other realities or?
Give me an Arcana check.
Yes. My favorite. I'm just not rolling great tonight, but at 14, I'll take.
Yeah, 14. You are familiar that there are multiple planes of existence. The most common of them being the material plane that you exist on and the ethereal plane. You do know of magics that allow people to pass through. The material and the ethereal plane are very closely linked.
Right.
They're not mirrors of each other. It's like one of them is an echo. So things on the ethereal plane exist, such as, from a more religious standpoint, ghosts, beings like that, which is not unheard of. So it is that is a plane that you do know has the ability to jump back and forth while still being almost the same.
Right. It's tied to this one, but like
Ghost spider.
like the dirt underneath grass, as if right there. But unless you're digging, you're not gonna find it.
Well, I learned a new thing today. Yeah, it's definitely not what I'm doing.
It's funny. It's all these ideas that you grow up with and chalk up to your parents trying to scare you, or someone else trying to scare your parents, and then them trying to scare you, and you can't help but wonder if it's all made up. Out here, though, I'm finding evidence for theories I was ready to dismiss. And yet, there's so much we don't know.
I figure as we're packing up the body and starting to walk, I will add to sort of as we're doing this.
Sure.
What kind of theories?
Well, I mean, ghosts for one, and that's they say that's where the soul goes sometimes. If it, again, I don't know. I didn't really know what a soul meant, but now with the Chauncey conundrum and Pal,
That's fair.
it's Chauncey can't speak, but he certainly seems like he displays emotion and trust. And that's well, I've never seen a tree do that, and this guy, I think he does. They seem more similar than not, outside of maybe one needs to eat metal and the other is metal.
Let's get this thing back to the cart.
Okay.
And were you doing a ritual as well, or?
No, Aaron was mostly. I was mostly going to be studying whether or not I could polish the rust off my blade to restore it to its fully functioning manner.
Can I cast mending on his?
Might be able to.
Interesting.
Let's look up mending really quick.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Rust away.
So as
Indeed,
you
rust
are
away.
attempting to clean the metal off, it's the rust off. It is not. You're able to remove the rust, but very clearly, part of your blade has also fallen because of it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I got a little pocket change, Aaron. I can.
Oh, it's fine. I've come prepared in a few different ways for protecting myself out here in the wilderness.
Right.
I'm not without.
We
tools.
also got some iron.
True.
Attempt to forge me a new blade out here.
That mobile cart. Well,
I
forge. Till then, though, that's
We have some supplies.
So are you attempting to
Yeah.
cast mending on
Yeah.
the blade? Essentially taking your tools and putting Aaron's blade to work. It's very quick, and as if from the metal that exists, you are able to grow metal back. It is fresh, and so because of that, a different color than the rest of your blade that has aged over time.
Ooh.
This small sliver of it where the metal had fallen away almost entirely is now a scar of new metal of the original blade, but it is fixed entirely.
Well, has some character now.
Something to tell my parents about. And I'll sheath the back of my hip with a new pep in my step.
With everything, stepping into the tunnel, what is your plan for moving forward?
Do we want to do what we did last time and just sort of book it and maybe get a little bit tired, or do we want to try and rest?
I think we should rest tonight and then book it first thing tomorrow.
Precisely. I
Yeah.
think we need to take a proper rest and nourish ourselves in the morning, but then make quick time back to town.
Okay.
No
and,
sleeping in.
And I know you wanted to try and work on the back. Is that going to be?
Yeah, I
not
mean,
right
I
now?
might as well. I can nap in the cart a bit, so yeah, I'll stay up for a little.
We'll need that box ready by
Yeah,
the time we get to
that's
the
why.
Crackerjack.
So,
So, plan first thing tomorrow
yeah.
is head
Yeah.
right back
Mhm.
and head off, go get Crackerjack,
Mm-hmm.
box it up, then we can catch.
We'll up, jump up.
We-
Yeah.
The day after tomorrow, to be clear.
Yes.
Let's remember. Yeah.
It's last day.
Yes.
We need to go and whoop, right
Mhm.
onto it.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is a ticket we can't really miss. So if we want to buy ourselves a couple more hours, I can push through with Andy tonight, and after your shorter meditations, we can hit the road.
Sure.
Okay.
If you two are okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got some. Yeah, that one was not as bad as I think you took a lot more.
I took a little, but it wasn't too
Yeah.
bad.
Chauncey's good.
Yeah, you two could,
Chauncey
you know,
is good.
get a rest on the cart while the rest of us
Yeah.
move it,
Yeah.
I suppose. Okay. Well,
But let's head back outside to the tunnel.
Yeah.
With something a wall to our back, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would like to keep the cart in front of the tunnel, though,
Mhm.
Yeah.
as we kind of squeeze around it. So if anything tries to come out, I think we cleared it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
As we approach where you laid the alarm,
Mhm.
is that something we can just step over, or are we gonna blow it right now?
I can dismiss it.
Well, if possible, we leave it in case anything tries to. Little heads up if.
At the moment, once we cross the threshold, it
Alright.
will.
Well,
Okay.
then,
do you
Yeah.
want to take another few moments and do it again after
Yeah, I
we
can
cross?
easily reset it.
let's do
Let's
that
do
then.
that, and that way, if that thing starts to come towards the cart, we can tell it to shoo.
Sure. Yes. Easily done.
So while Erin is doing that, I'm gonna start setting up my forge.
And
Now,
well,
The forge that you're setting up, this is with your smith's tools, or
Yeah, and I'll make a little fire and yeah,
the improvised like
yeah,
polo
just
with
do like what we did before with
okay.
the.
So as you set up a
Coins.
small camp at the front of this this cave, the alarm being set, now setting up a small forge
Yeah.
in this campfire like what you used before.
Yeah.
Two of you taking a short trance.
right before that, I would like to use ritually cast Gentle Repose on the remains of this last creature, so it will not get any more gross for the next 2 or 10 days.
All right. As you reach out to cast Gentle Repose on the bits that you have, you can feel the energy channeling in towards it. At least the metal pieces, energy seems to waver off of it. But the spine within the case, you can feel it encompass.
Well, that's what we have. And then I'll, take a trance.
Before I trance, I'm just gonna do 7 more points of lay on hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, before everybody sleeps, I'm just clarifying that we want to make a lead box that could go inside of this wooden.
Right.
box.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep you company, Andy, and
Great.
if I can be helpful and not slow you down,
I mean-
count on my 3 hands. As the,
Yeah, I was
main-
gonna
Oh,
say
I was like-
mage hand is gonna be helpful.
I think that's higher priority than another really technical reading I hardly understand of creatures and code and
Yeah,
well.
we'll have time on the boat to
But-
do that stuff.
Oh, that's a good point. Yes, I bet they don't want us making fires in the boat.
Also, we need to do that before. So yeah.
So yes, to answer your question, just a very thin sheet of lead and
Okay.
line each surface of the box, and
Okay.
well, as far as I know, it's harder to see through magically.
Okay.
If I can help.
Great.
And Aaron, what are you doing? during
I'll
this?
stay up as Dorothy and I can trance. I'll stay up and just keep watch so that these two can focus their entire attention
All right.
on the creation of this.
As now deep into the night, the two of you resting, Aaron keeping watch, and the firelight flickering as you tinker away, working on making this. The firelight glistening and flickering off of the metal of Chauncey as he sits. In the light, his little crown of leaves catches the night. That is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Man, oh man.
I know.
We're going to be back again next week, everyone. So have a fantastic rest of your week. We will see you then.